Welcome to Learning Algebra with Ms. Rodriguez. By the end of this video, you will understand converting to slope-intercept form. So here I want to practice converting my equation from standard form to slope-intercept form. The reason I would want to do this is because slope-intercept form, it is easier to find the slope, and I can use my graphing calculator when my equation is in slope-intercept form. So even though standard form is useful for your x and y intercepts, slope-intercept form is really the best one to work with. So here I have my equation 4x plus 5y is equal to negative 20. So recall that standard form has all of my variables on one side and my constant on the other side, whereas slope-intercept form has my y on one side and everything else on the other side. So my goal is to isolate my y variable. This is very much a literal equation where I have two variables and I just want to isolate one of the variables. So my first goal is I notice that in my slope-intercept form, my x term is on the other side of the y. So I'm going to move my x term to the other side of the y by doing the inverse. So I have 4x. So I'm going to subtract 4x. Now 4x and 20 are not like terms, so I am not going to combine those. I am left with 5y. And now in my slope-intercept form, because my x term comes before my constant, I am going to write my 4x first and then my constant so I can match up my slope-intercept form. However, minus 20 minus 4x are actually the same thing. Next, I want to isolate my 5. I want to get rid of 5 because I want to have y all by itself. So I notice that I need to divide both sides by 5. So I am left with y equals. Now that giant fraction on the right is the same thing as saying negative 4 over 5 x and negative 20 over 5. Having a giant fraction just helps you not write the number 5 two times. So negative 4 over 5 is already a reduced fraction, so I am just going to keep that with my variable x. But now I am going to reduce negative 20 over 5 because that gives me the number negative 4. So now I have my equation in slope-intercept form, and I can go ahead and identify my slope, negative 4 over 5, and my y-intercept, which is negative 4, or the point 0, negative 4. Now for my x-intercept, I can do two things. I can use my graph with my slope and my y-intercept. I can graph it, and then I can see where my x-intercept is going to be visually. Or you can use your standard form and find your x-intercept by replacing y with 0 and solving. So I'm going to show you how I can do this from my graph. I'm going to plot my y-intercept point, so 0, negative 4, and then I'm going to count my rise over my run. So I am going to go up 4, but left 5 because of the negative. And I notice that I'm on my x-axis, so this makes it an x-intercept. So my x-intercept is going to be the point negative 5, comma 0. If I would have solved my equation from standard form, I would have ended up with a small equation where I have 4x is equal to negative 20. And if I solve this, I would end up with x equals negative 5, which lines up with my slope-intercept. So you really do have choices. Another choice you could have done is you could have used a table. Because we already have our equation in slope-intercept form, I can use my graphing calculator and type my equation in to get the points for x and y. So if I did this, I would have negative 2, negative 2.4, negative 1, negative 3.2, 0, negative 4, 1, negative 4.8, and 2, negative 5.6. The reason why we like to use slope is because sometimes you don't end up with really nice points in your graphing calculator, so it's really hard to use just a table always, so slope intercept form is the quickest way to graph. Now I can visually answer what kind of slope I have. I will have a negative slope, which is obvious because our point was negative 4/5 for slope. But I can also see visually that my line is kind of going downhill, so it is a negative. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget, like, subscribe, and share with fellow educators or students.